Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a vertical striped hat using any even number peg loom. Now this is what the outside looks like and this is what the inside will look like. So it can be reversible if you want. I prefer the look of the outside of it best myself. Alright, so what you're going to need to do this is you'll need an even numbered peg loom. If you have an odd number peg loom, you're going to end up with fat stripes in it, and for some of it, for just one spot, so you just go ahead and find an even number peg loom. I am using the 34 peg 3/4 inch gauge youth hat loom from Cindy Woodcrafts, which is premiumknittinglooms.com right there. And this is actually, I got it in a 4-piece, the extra large 4-piece set, and this is like the second piece in it. You'll need your loom tool, scissors, tensioners optional, and a crochet hook just to weave your ends in. We're going to start with your red and your black yarn, and what I'm using is, this is just like Red Heart Super Saver, and this is just Caron Simply Soft. They're both a size 4 worsted weight yarn. So we're going to start with doing a slip knot, and we're going to do a chain cast on using both strands as one, which you can see. So I want to go over just very quick how to do the chain cast on. If you're not familiar with it, I do have a separate video to show you in more detail how to do the chain cast on. You're just using both collars together so that the edge isn't just one specific color, which you can do just one collar if you want for the cast on. When you get back to your first peg, you just take that loop, put it on that first peg, just to close up the circle. So one peg will have 2 loops on it, the rest will just have 1. Now to get started, okay, for sizing, what I suggest is this entire pattern is done using a purl stitch. So purl stitch will shrink down more than a lot of your other stitches do, so it actually makes a smaller hat than what the loom suggests. This set of youth hat loom is what this one is. This fits like my 4-year-old very snug, so I'd actually need to go up one more loom size for my 4-year-old. So the youth hat loom makes a size good, like a toddler size. Now if you're wanting a snug fit, like beanie style toboggan, you want to do 40 rows for the body. If you want it more crochet, like the floppy hat, then do like 50. 50 up, depending on how much of a slouch you want to the hat. Okay, now let's get started. Like I said, this is all done with the purl stitch, and my pegs are marked because the color the peg is the color of the yarn I'm going to use. This is just white to show my first one, but it's actually a black peg. So we're starting here, and I will take the red one around first, and you want to pull the black one underneath. And what we're doing is we are going to do a purl stitch, put the yarn behind, and you're going to purl all the red pegs, putting the yarn behind each black peg. You'll do this all the way around until you get back to your first peg. All the way back to our starting peg with the red. Now we're going to go around with the black. So we'll start with that peg. And of course we're putting the working yarn behind the red pegs and purling the black pegs. And you're going to do this all the way around the loom until you get back to your first peg. You want the previous collar to be down to where you're going over top of it. And that would be 1 row. So 1 time all the way around with the red and 1 time all the way around with the black is considered 1 row for this pattern. So you'll be doing 40 rows on your hat, on your loom size of choice, anything from like a youth up to an extra large adult, and that will give you more of a tight fitted beanie. If you want more of a crochet style, then you want to up it to 50 to 60 rows depending on how much of a slouch you want in the hat. As you're doing this, if you get confused as to which collar you had just done, if you look, and we have our cast on edge, so it's wanting to bubble up some, you will see the collar going over top. Like this one, you can see the black is going over top, so that means it's time to do the red. So when you start your next row, you'll always put your previous collar down and go over with the new one. So you're going to do that, and then you'll do all your red ones, and your red will be looped over top instead of the black, and then you'll do all the black ones. And you will just do this until it gets to the size that you want, and then I'll show you an option for the cast off for this hat. Once our hat gets as long as we need it to be, I just took one of the strands, left a bit of it out and cut, and I took another strand and wrapped it around. Let me see, 1, 2, about 3 times, and cut it. 2.5 to 3 times is good. And the way the cast off I'm going to do is the flat top pull string cast off. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm doing a little bit of a variation of it. I'm going to be picking up every other one first and then going back and picking up the other ones instead of doing 2 at a time. The reason I'm doing that is because it'll pull, you know, whichever ones I do first, it'll pull those under, and then the second ones it'll pull, like all the same color will be pulling to the top. So that's my goal here. So I will just start with, actually let's just start with the red. So we'll go through, pull the working yarn through all the red pegs, and pull through, and you're going to put it behind the black peg. Pull through the red, then behind the black. You're going to do this all the way around. Once you've went through all the red pegs, then you're going to go through and go through all the black pegs. But I'm going to skip these 2 just because that one's already done, and that one is right beside the last peg I did. So I'll start with this one and go all the way around till all the black pegs have yarn going through them, and then we'll just take the entire thing off the loom. Once it's off the loom, this is what you got. And now you're just going to start pulling that string closed. But you got to remember, it's went around twice. So you're going to be pulling one layer tight, and then that other layer underneath is going to be pulling tight. You want to make sure you have a good strong yarn to do this part. There we go. And once you get it almost all the way closed off, you want to pull that string down through the middle and finish tightening it, which will have 2 strands down here in the middle, which that will be the second strand that we cut. So you just kind of make sure you get all that pulled tight. You don't want to break the string though. And since we've already got this strand down here, you guys don't see me do knots a lot. I do a lot of weaving the strings in, but this will help hold this tight. Then you'd weave it down through some, leave some to weave, and cut your edges in. I want to show you real quick. This is what the inside looks like. Now I did something. If you accidentally mess up on this and you do 2 rows of one color together, this is what happens. You get like a stripe. But on that outside edge, it's almost unnoticeable. It was like right in here. You'll see a slight difference in the stitches, but it's one of those things that you're probably the only person that will notice. We'll stretch this out and show you what it looks like. So there you go, your vertical striped hat. Right here's where I did the 2 rows together. You can see a slight gap there. So there you go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions or comments at all, just please leave in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, as I said before, the PDF is available in the description as well. Okay, thank you for watching.